Hey everybody, this is Paul Burry.
And I'm Teen Gamer.
And this is going to be an FFG Top 10 on the top 10 games that will humble you. Now, we had serious issues with this list because there are so many difficult, humbling games out there.
So, my list is more of game types.
And I picked some of the most difficult games I remember playing throughout the years. There are plenty of others that didn't get on the list. I mean, there are Mega Man games, there are Zelda games. I mean, so if you got other games like, hey, this belongs, just leave a comment below.
Basically, go look at any NES game and then say, yep, put them in a stack.
Battle of Olympus. The only way you could beat certain games was with codes.
What was that Notorious Atari Code one?
Oh, the Contra, up, down, left, right, B, B, A.
The only way to beat it was with the Atari code.
Yeah. No, it's a Konami code.
Konami, Atari, Konami, same thing.
You want to start? You want me to start?
I'll start. My number 10 was Skate. It was a skateboarding game made by EA. And if I'm just going to start saying skateboarding, might as well say all skateboarding games. I haven't found one easy one.
The Tony Hawk ones are very frustrating.
But the skate ones, you try to do it, and then they introduce you to what the game's actually supposed to be, which is just a funny little flopping simulator.
Well, yeah, and then they're like, you have 2 minutes to get 100,000 points. And you go and you grind, and you're like, I just got 10.
Whoa!
This is going to be a long day just trying to get half the points. My number 10 is Ninja Gaiden on the NES. You could say Gaiden 1, 2, or 3. The first one to me was the toughest. And I'm trying to make sure I kept as best as possible family-friendly titles. You know, not going into the macabre and morbid later versions of Ninja Gaiden.
We know that a whole bunch of M games are very difficult.
Yeah.
My number 9 couldn't narrow down to one. The Zelda games, hack and slash games mostly.
I'd say that to me that the toughest one and the only one I never beat was Zelda 2. I've beaten many other Zelda games, but not that one.
You beat Skyward Sword?
Well, not that one. The newer ones I haven't.
You beat Twilight Princess?
You beat Twilight Princess.
I did not beat Twilight Princess.
Oh, no,
I beat Skyward Sword.
Skyward Sword, yeah. Hey, did you beat Skyward Sword? Oh, okay. All right. My number 9 is Marble Madness. This was one of those, it was a really cool idea. You roll a marble around a maze.
Oh,
now,
I remember this.
It had the trackball controls. So you had to, at least in the arcade, you had this ball you were rolling to try to control.
Didn't they make some remake where you had to use the gyroscope on the Wii?
Yeah, probably. No, that was Karnipa Marble something. It was similar. Karnipa something, yeah. They did put it on the, like some of the consoles like NES or something, and it was, it was okay, but it was very tough because you had to deal with momentum. And you're going down the hill, and you'd have to stop and turn, and it was...
You mean Super Monkey Ball?
Yeah. It was more difficult than Monkey Ball ever could have been.
Well, my number 8 was Cloudberry Kingdom. Now, if we're going to talk about that, I haven't ever played it, but from what I understand, Super Meat Boy is very similar.
Very difficult to have heard, yeah.
It's one of those you have split second to do things perfectly. Much like another game we have for review. Go check out our website. You might be able to figure out which one that is.
My number 8 is Sonic Riders. Sonic Riders fell into the problem of being very short. And if you notice, short games who have very few levels are almost always insanely difficult. So.
Yeah, let's see. My number 7 is... Okay, so I'm going to clarify this. Not arcade style like NBA Jam, but arcade games. And what I mean by that is Pac-Man, because unless you have a bunch of money, you're going to fail. And the retro games, I mean, just Mario,
Space
the A button doesn't
Congo
work.
Bongo.
A button doesn't work. I mean,
the whole goal of those games was to get you to put more quarters in.
And you have a fighting.
Yeah. My number 7 was Kirby Air Ride, so I'm sticking with these little racers there on the GameCube that were very frustrating, annoying, irritating. Kirby Air Ride, if you practice enough, you can actually win some races.
Or if you just want to have fun exploring the track, which is what I did. I remember it. It's quite fun.
Or you could just lose repeatedly.
Well, it's more fun to explore the tracks, or at least it was when I was younger.
It put me in a bad mood.
I did that in Double Dash and in Kirby.
That game gave me a headache for so many reasons.
My number 6 is, no offense to them, we love your video monetization policy, but Codemasters racing games.
Whether it's F1 or Dirt or whatever.
I can't think of one that I've actually won a race in.
Yes, they are extremely difficult.
I think the closest I came was to second, and that was when I was playing with him on video, and there was only us two.
My number 6 is Trials Fusion. It's better playing 2 players because then at least one of you will win. I mean,
eventually.
And here's the thing. Here's the thing about Trials Fusion. You can go from the start to the end. Now maybe you die 20 times and you say, I did it! I beat the level! And then you see, in order to progress to the next level, you can only die once. And you're like, what? I can only die once? Oh, and you gotta do it in 3 minutes. Huh? How? I got stuck in that game so many times and have to do a level. You spend half an hour, one level, playing one level over and over and over and over.
This is better than Tour de France where you spend an hour to do one race just to lose. So my number 5, now this one can be online or offline, any game with any type of player versus player. A sports game, someone's gonna lose.
Yeah.
It's 100% guaranteed.
Fighting game.
One of you will lose.
Somebody will humble you. You will. It's kind of like they talk about with fighting in person. You will eventually find someone tougher than you. You will run into somebody who is bigger, stronger, and better, and you're going to lose. So you will get humbled at some point. My number 5 is Battletoads. I remember this game on the NES. I was going to say fondly, but no, it wasn't fondly.
I remember it on the Rare Replay where you just keep hitting a button to insert coins.
It was frustrating. You would die and die and die. And this one had horrible jumps. I mean, you would go from the Streets of Rage fighting part that you could eventually get your way through, right? And then you would have to go into some kind of a racing thing, and you would have to be doing this jump on the 2D side-scrolling. You'd be going left and right, and you're having to avoid things, and it's all those one-hit wonders where you get hit once, you're done.
The 0 health bar.
Yeah.
My number 4 isn't here so much as it'll humble you, but so much as it took forever for anyone to actually beat it, which means anyone who tried was humbled. The Atari 2600 ET.
Yeah.
I mean, worst game of all time. Takes people forever to actually beat it. No direction.
The PlayStation ET game is also difficult.
I was just gonna say ET in general, but that one seemed a bit better. Worse. Yeah.
My number 4 is Super Mario Brothers 2. In my opinion, the most difficult Mario Brothers.
Was that the one with the dream and the frog dude?
Yes.
Yep.
And I have actually beaten that game. But I can't tell you how many hours I spent practicing to be able to beat that game, and how many cheap hits I took throughout the whole game.
Just throw a turnip.
And the end boss. I mean, he's shooting bubbles that you're having to avoid, and you have to catch a turnip in the air. You have to be underneath it while you're avoiding bubbles to get it, and then you have to avoid the bubbles to get up there and hit him. You have to jump up on the platform and throw it on him, or come running up and jump and throw it. I mean, it can be done, but oh my goodness, will it humble you.
My number 3 is Superman 64, or Somersault 64.
Somersault Man.
So, I played it. The Aquaman version, okay, I can actually play that one. I actually kind of, it's really boring, but I can play that one. Superman 64, the first level, I'm teaching you how to fly. Okay, I got the first couple rings. Oh, time to take a turn. Wow, wow,
It just wants to flip. And of course, there's a timer, so you have to do it in so much time.
So, I'm seeing the timer going down, and I'm just doing this.
Yeah, that
it's on a
reminds me.
video.
That reminds me. I can play the Dirt Rally games now, finally. However, I cannot get through the first tutorial. I can't beat the first tutorial of it. I can win the game on easy, but I can't beat the tutorial. I don't know. I don't know what these games are with bad tutorials.
Who knows?
My number 3 is Cloudberry Kingdom. We've already talked about that game. It is insanely difficult.
My number 2, unlike any other games on this list, cannot be beaten. An infinite runner.
Well, you can't beat Tetris, but it's actually fun.
Well, you can. It'll run out of memory. They did it with Pac-Man.
System, but I don't know if they ever... Anyway.
But infinite runners, you got Jetpack Joyride, Sonic Dash, games like that, eventually...
will humble you.
You will fail.
My number 2 is Ease 1 and 2. For those who aren't familiar with Ease, it's been on multiple systems. I played on Turbo Duo the first time. Your character, Adol Christian, has his sword sticking out. So he's like this with his sword, right? So it's sticking out. And the way you hurt enemies, you don't hack and slash them, you run into them. Now, how do you know if you're stronger than them or if they're stronger than you? Well, when the collision happens, the game decides who's tougher and who takes damage. That means if you're weaker and you hit someone stronger, your health starts vanishing quickly. And usually it's like, bump, 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 you're dead. Now, you can grind, and since it's an RPG, and you can get your way through, and I beat both Ys 1 and 2. But I am telling you, it was annoying, especially with the bosses. You would go fight a boss, and you would get just stomped, and you go, okay.
Time to grind.
You go grind, go run around and grind for 5-6 levels, go back, and then you could actually compete with the boss. So,
my number 1 is taken by the golf games. Majority of the golf games never go well.
Especially putting.
You have more trouble with putting than I do, though.
I have trouble putting. I do. And people comment on the videos like, you didn't do the putting right. Really? I couldn't figure that out. I tried, but it wasn't working.
And then the tutorials are so boring because they have the little announcer from golf. Okay, you need to line up. You need to hit the A button. You need to gracefully swing.
You fall asleep to their silent whispering. My number 1 old school game, Ghosts and Goblins. Your guy could take a hit and he'd lose his armor. Take another hit, he's dead. If you have not played the Ghosts and Goblins games back in the day,
don't.
It's very, very difficult. I mean, there's constant things coming at you, flying at you, running at you, coming out of the ground. I mean, it's tough. So that's our lists. Please leave a comment below if you have other games you want to add, Smash TV or something.
Well, with that said, I would like to thank Mom for watching and say I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.